Angkor Wat. Just saying the name probably brings all sorts of images to mind, right? Ancient secrets, massive stone faces covered in jungle vines, maybe a lost civilization. But this place, this marvel in Cambodia, is so much more than just a ruin. It's a living, breathing story. And today we're going to figure out how it became the largest religious monument in the entire world.
And there it is. I mean, just look at that. It's got to be one of the most iconic sites on the planet. Built almost 900 years ago, it's not some dusty relic. It's still an active Buddhist temple, a masterpiece of human skill. But to really wrap your head around its sheer scale, we've got to talk numbers.
Okay, the whole complex sprawls across 162.6 hectares. And what does that even mean? Well, picture Vatican City. Got it? Now multiply that by 4. Yeah, that's how big we're talking. This was never just a temple. It was a massive, sprawling city built for the gods.
And that is why it holds the official title, the largest religious structure ever built. Every single wall, every tower, every carving you see was all part of one grand, unified vision. But hidden inside that vision is a really deep and fascinating puzzle.
See, here's the thing. Almost every Hindu temple from that time faces east, to greet the sunrise, the symbol of life and new beginnings. But Angkor Wat, it breaks the rule. It faces west, a direction that, back then, was tied to death. So what's up with that? To get the answer, we have to go back in time and meet the man who built it all.
All right, so we're diving into the golden age of the Khmer Empire. This was a time of unbelievable power and ambition, and it all revolved around one person, a ruler who was considered a living god.
In the early 12th century, a king named Suryavarman II takes the throne. He's the one who ordered this temple built. And get this, in less than 40 years, a massive workforce of hundreds of thousands of people transformed millions of tons of sandstone into this masterpiece. The engineering and logistics alone are on par with the Great Pyramids. It was all built to honor the Hindu god Vishnu.
So this is the crucial part. Angkor Wat was doing a few jobs at once. It was the main state temple, for sure. It was also a kind of cosmic map of the universe and a giant tribute to Vishnu. But, and this is the big one, it was also meant to be the king's own mausoleum, his final resting place. And that funerary purpose, that's the #1 theory for its strange westward orientation.
The whole layout is basically a giant 3D map of the Hindu cosmos. See this gigantic moat? It runs for over 5 kilometers around the outside. That's not just for defense. No, it represents the mythical ocean of milk that was said to surround the home of the gods.
And right at the heart of it all, you have these 5 main towers, arranged in a pattern called a quincunx. Just think of the 5 dots on a die. Those towers are meant to be the 5 peaks of the sacred Mount Meru, the center of the entire universe. The whole thing was designed to be a heaven on earth, built for a king who saw himself as a god.
But the story definitely doesn't stop there. The empire that built Angkor Wat is about to face a major crisis, and the temple itself, it's going to go through a huge transformation, a change that, weirdly enough, is the very reason it survived.
So just a few decades after the temple is finished, disaster strikes. The capital is sacked by invaders. A new Khmer king, Jayavarman VII, eventually takes back control, but he brings with him a new faith, Buddhism.
And so, the temple that was dedicated to the Hindu god Vishnu slowly started to change. Hindu art was swapped out for Buddhist sculptures, and Angkor Wat began a completely new life as a Theravada Buddhist monastery, which is a role it still plays to this very day.
Now this part is so important. Unlike a lot of other ancient cities that were just swallowed by the jungle and forgotten, Angkor Wat was never totally abandoned. Monks kept on worshipping there, and we even have records from the 1600s showing that Buddhist pilgrims from Japan had set up small communities right inside its walls.
It wasn't really until the 1860s that the temple captured the world's imagination. That was thanks to European explorers like Henri Mahot. His descriptions, like this one, just sounded unbelievable to people back in Europe. He said it was grander than anything left to us by Greece or Rome. That kind of talk sparked massive international interest and set the stage for a whole new chapter.
So all this new attention brought in scholars and people who wanted to preserve it. But it also happened to coincide with a century of absolute chaos that would push this ancient wonder right to the edge of destruction.
The 20th century was just brutal for Cambodia. During the Civil War and the horrific Khmer Rouge regime, the temple suffered. I mean, you can still see the bullet holes scarring these delicate 900-year-old carvings. It's a painful, very real reminder of modern war.
And war was just one of the problems. There was also rampant art theft, with looters stealing priceless sculptures. You had the jungle constantly trying to reclaim the stones. And then there was just the slow march of time, erosion, microbes, the ground itself shifting, all working to bring the whole structure down.
This really gives you a sense of the incredible task facing the people trying to save it. The work is just so slow, so careful. It's a huge international effort to piece these ancient guardians back together, fighting back against centuries of decay. The big turning point finally came in 1992. UNESCO designated Angkor as a World Heritage Site, and that basically opened the floodgates, launching one of the most important conservation projects in history. Teams from France, Japan, India, Germany, all over the world came together to help save this treasure.
And because of that amazing effort, Angkor Wat today isn't some dusty museum piece. It is a living, breathing symbol, right at the very heart of an entire nation's identity. And you don't have to look any further than the Cambodian flag. What's that image right in the center? It's Angkor Wat. It represents the soul of the Khmer people, a testament to their incredible past, and a really powerful symbol of their resilience and survival.
And the world has definitely taken notice. Before the pandemic, the temple was drawing in more than 2.5 million visitors every single year. That makes it one of the most visited historical sites on Earth.
So when you look at Angkor Wat, you're not just seeing some old ruin. You're seeing a Hindu vision of heaven, a Buddhist place of worship, a survivor of war and neglect, and the proud heart of a nation. It's a story of pure endurance, written in stone.
Which really just leaves us with one last question. It's been so many different things to so many people over the centuries. A home for a god king, a sanctuary for monks, a treasure for the entire world. So you have to wonder, what new meanings, what new stories will these stones tell us in another 100 years?